everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. So how good is that Dollar Tree foam board? Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you so much to everyone who is supporting my channel and supporting me in such a positive way. Throughout 2021, I crafted quite a bit with foam board, and I used the foam board that I get from Hobby Lobby. And I've used that foam board exclusively for so many years and so many projects, some that you've seen on camera and some not on camera. For those that I have shared with you on camera, one of the most common questions is, can I make it using the Dollar Tree foam board? I was never able to answer that because I've not tried the foam board. Well, I decided that since I'm doing this Dollar Tree series, I'd go ahead and try that foam board to see how it's going to work. So I bought several sheets, some in black and some in white. I'm going to be using some of this today to build a new shelf for my printer. While I was moving from studio to studio, the printer shelf that I made last year was damaged. So this is a great opportunity for me to try the Dollar Tree foam board and to share with you guys my honest opinion and to let you know whether or not it's something that I'll buy again. So y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, y'all, so I have raised my camera so that I can give you a look at the foam board that I'm going to be using. And this is from the Dollar Tree. The sheets are 20 by 30 inches. I've actually cut them down into smaller pieces so that I could show them on camera better. So this is how they look from the side. The one thing that I've noticed is that as a single board, it doesn't appear to be as sturdy as the board that I'm getting from Hobby Lobby. However, when I double them, just as I double the Hobby Lobby boards as well, I do get a nice sturdiness. So we're going to make that shelf using the same process that I used when I made the shelf using the Hobby Lobby boards. So if you want to make this same shelf, I'm making it to fit a printer that is 17 by 12 by 8. So those are the dimensions for the printer. So what you're going to need is you will need 4 pieces that measure 10 by 10 and 2 pieces that measure 20 by 11. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces and we're going to double stack them. So I have already double stacked my 10 by 10 pieces. So I now have 2 brackets for my shelf that measure 10 by 10 double stacked. So I'm going to show you the process for double stacking, and we're going to do it by double stacking the top of the shelf. So this is my 20 by 11 inch piece. And what I've done is I have added double stick tape to the back, and I'm just tearing away the backer sheets, and I'm saving these because they make great packaging material. So now you can see that I have my tape on this piece. I'm just going to stand it up to make sure that I do have a good match and a good fit. And then once I do, I'm just going to bring that piece from the front to the back. Make sure I try to stay in frame here. And then I am just going to line these up as best I can. This is a homemade shelf, so it's not going to be perfect, but I do have a nice stick on this, and this does appear to be a very sturdy shelf. We need to go ahead and cover the top if you want to put a decorative cover on, and I do, so I have already added more double stick tape. So I'm just going to peel away the tape backer. So what I've done here is I've cut a piece of wrapping paper that is approximately 15 by 25 inches. And this is what I want to use as my covering. So I am just going to take this, and I'm standing up for this part because I want to try to get it as straight as possible since I'm working with plaid. Might not be perfect, but we're just going to put that down. Now I can flip this over, and now I'm just going to stand it up and wrap that around. And now I'll use my finger blade just to angle and miter these edges. So let's just get these done. And so now I'm just going to take my tape and I'm going to place my tape along the 4 edges of the foam board shelf top. And then I'm just going to add some tape along the edge of my wraparound piece on all 4 sides. And now we're just going to peel away all of the tape backer. All right, so now we can take our pieces and just fold them over. So I'm pulling them nice and tight. You can use contact paper on this if you want. If you have any fear of your paper tearing, you can use contact paper, you can use wallpaper, completely up to you. So then I'm going to take a strip of tape and just put it right here in the corners, just to make sure we have tape coverage throughout. And so now I'm just going to pull this over, starting in the center, and then I'll work my way out to one end, and I'll do the same thing over here. And then I'll add a little bit of tape right here, and a little bit right here. And so now we can take this piece and do the same thing. So let's grab it in the middle, get it stuck, and then we'll work our way to the end, and we'll do the same thing over here. And then if you have any pointy ends, just take your board and run it along the desk. And now you can see that we have a nice top to our shelf. So what we need to do now is we're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to put them on just like this. And with the original one, I used hot glue, and that's exactly what I'm going to use again. When I place them down, I'm actually going to come in about 1 inch. So I am just going to bring in my hot glue, and I have already had my hot glue gun warming up, getting ready to do its job. And I am just placing hot glue on this. Don't worry about the ugliness of that hot glue. I'm not worried about that. So I do have some here on the side that I'm just going to wipe up. I'm going to hold this into place. And then I'm going to take my next piece and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to place my hot glue. And then I'll take this piece and we're going to place it down, coming in about 1 inch. And we're just going to let that set up and dry. And so now that I have these bases on, I am just going to take some scrap and we're going to put it in just like this so that we can make sure that this is nice and firm this way. And we're also going to be giving ourselves just a little extra stability this way. So I am going to use my ruler and I'm going to trim away just a little bit. And so if you're following my measurements, I have a piece that is 7.5 by 7.5. So I'm going to have 2 of those pieces. And I'm going to take those 2 pieces. One will be butted up against this end and one will be butted up against this end. So I am going to take my hot glue gun and run a bead of glue right in there. And then I'm going to place some glue on this piece. And one thing that I am noticing is this foam board is not melting. It is actually holding up to the hot glue, which is a really good thing. So I'm going to take this piece and we're going to press it against that glue and press it down. And now I need to do the same thing on this side. So I have turned it around so that I can add more glue right in here. And then we're going to add glue to this piece. And now we can take this piece. We're going to press it into that glue. Make sure that we have everything nice and tight. And just like that, y'all, I have a nice printer shelf to replace the one that was damaged when I was moving. No one's fault that it was damaged. Just one of those things that happens from time to time. I am going to go ahead and place this over my printer, and I'll show you a picture of just how it looks. And so now you're able to see how easy it was for me to use the Dollar Tree foam board as well as the Dollar Tree glue sticks to make my replacement printer shelf. Here's my honest opinion of the Dollar Tree foam board. At first glance, I thought it was kind of flimsy, but when I doubled it, I did get a nice firmness to it. But as I have placed things on it in the same way that I placed things on my original one that I made from Hobby Lobby, it does not appear to be as sturdy as the Hobby Lobby foam board. And I can tell that it's not as densely packed as the Hobby Lobby foam board. Therefore, it's a little more flexible. But I will say this, it does appear to be a suitable foam board for project making. If you're making something that's going to carry weight, I would probably triple stack it instead of single or double stacking it, especially if it's a long piece. You need to brace that center so that you won't have the sag on it. So for me right now, I'll probably stick with my Hobby Lobby foam board, but I'm going to continue working with the Dollar Tree foam board to see how it holds up long term. So if you have the Dollar Tree foam board or you have access to the Dollar Tree foam board, by all means, buy it and use it on your projects because I do think that it is suitable. I'll be able to share more as I continue to work with this shelf to see how it's going to hold up. But for right now, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. So I hope that you have found this review of the Dollar Tree foam board informative. And if you don't have a Dollar Tree, but you do have foam board that you like to use, go ahead and continue to use what you have access to. As always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.